Hello and welcome to Dreams of Wings, and welcome to what is probably one of my favourite spots. This is Valdez Airport, Valdez in Alaska. I think it used to be called Pioneer Valdez, or maybe I'm thinking back to the old days when I used to come here in P3D and FSX land. In fact, some of the there's a couple of videos from the very early days of the channel where I flew out of here, and just always really loved the area. And I wanted to do a Comanche flight tonight. This is the Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 Comanche. I wanted to do a Comanche flight, and I was kind of looking at different places. I thought Scotland, and I thought probably people are getting a bit sick of me flying Scotland all the time. And then I just thought, hell, I'm going to come here. I'm going to cheat. I'm going to change the weather, because live weather here actually today is pretty bleak. You can't see a great deal. So I've just got a preset. It's have I got live time? I don't think I have actually. There's not much live about it at all. But yeah, I put a few clouds preset on just to make it look pretty. Because do you know what? This is a relaxed evening for me flight in the Comanche, just enjoying it. It's a brand new Comanche. Oh, let me just quickly, okay, first of all, if you want to fly along, you are more than welcome. We're on the Western European server, and I'm here at Valdez Airport, which is Papa Alpha Victor Delta. As I say, you're more than welcome to come along and fly along as well. Let me show you the route. So taking off here from Valdez, just coming down the bay here, and I mean, you can see it's not rocket science. There's nothing technical going on here. We're not following the magenta line. We're not using VOR. It's just a really simple visual route, and then we will come over here to Merrill Field in Anchorage. And if you can hear some squeaks, yeah. If you can hear some squeaks, that's co-pilot Cat, who has suddenly decided to join us. My apologies for any background noise that you might hear, but there you go. That's the route. So it should be pretty picturesque, and I think the lighting is looking rather splendid as well. So anyway, in the chat, Keith FMJ Wombleway, good to see you. Good evening to you. It's not often I stream on a weekday evening. So this is a little bit unusual, a little bit different, but anyway, it's going to be nice and relaxed. What can I say? Sweetheart, I'm flying. You can't come up. Okay? Sorry. Oh, dear me. Right. Okay, so let's press a few buttons, get where we need to be. Get on the right screen. There we go. That's better. Okay, getting everything sorted out. Good, good, good. So first things first, let's do that. That's fine. Okay, I'm going to very quickly. So I think I'd started saying this is a brand new aeroplane. I should also say this is a beta that I'm going to be using. So there's a couple of things. I'm not going to talk about it in any kind of detail, but there's a couple of things that you'll see that are potentially slightly different. You might spot them. Look at that. That's very animated, that shadow coming across there. But there's one in particular that there's two actually that are pretty cool that I will talk about it. They're kind of, I guess you could say they're kind of shallow in the scheme of things, but I think they're pretty cool. What else have we got? Let's quickly go here. So as I say, this is a brand new aeroplane, 0 hours. This is if you know the channel, then you know that this is the livery that I've flown in 2020. But we're now flying it in 2024. Why I've come to Valdez to pick up a brand new aeroplane with a G registration, I do not know. But it in a way, it does seem fitting, because as I say, there's some history here for the channel. So there you go. So let us quickly check in with the mechanic. It's a brand new aeroplane. Would be a bit disappointed if anything was broken, but you know, this is Accu-sim, so we're not going to take any chances. I'm just checking I've got all my bits and pieces set up how I want them, and I have. That's absolutely fine. Let's go and have a look at the engine. Do not jump up there, okay? Don't jump up there. You just stay there, sweetheart. Honestly. I don't know if you've got a cat, but if you have, you know how when you're ignoring them because you're busy, they suddenly start walking over everything, and it's almost like they want to walk along a shelf and just tap things off just to get attention. So anyway, yes, so we've inspected the engine, it's all green. If you know Accu-sim, you don't need any explanation. If you don't know Accu-sim, this is what I love about, look at that. What I love about this whole thing is that this is an aircraft you own. It's a living, breathing aircraft that you own, and it lives with you. The wear and tear changes with you. It's persistent. How you fly it can have an impact on the state of the aircraft. You really feel it's yours. I can't think of other way to do it. Anyway, so you have to be careful. You have to be careful, but it gives you something to. It's a flight simulator. I'm sitting in the spare room of my house. It's a flight simulator. I'm talking like this is actually a physical aircraft that I own. But that's kind of how it feels in the sim, and that's what's so clever about Accu-sim. It's not just a do not jump up there. It's not just something that's kind of bolted onto the flight simulator rules. It's kind of an external thing that is living and breathing. That's the only way I can say it. I need to fly and stop yakking on, but you understand what I'm talking about. And it's interesting. There's a few things acting strangely, including my usually with my head tracking. If I do that, it locks it off, but it's actually centering it. It's locking it off, but it's centering it. That's interesting. Okay. I need to have a look at that. That might be something to do with my chase plane, because I'm using that as well. Right. Shut up, Rob. Just get on with it. So let's come back to here. I'm going to go to checklists. We're going to do the pre-flight. I'm just going to bob that down there. I'm just going to check. Let's get into the flow, boy. So parking brake is on. I'm going to quickly put the master on. I'm going to put all our lights on, because as we've never flown this aircraft before, we've just paid a lot of money for it from some geezer in the pub in Valdez. You know how it works. So we are just going to jump out, and we're going to have a quick look at our lights. We don't want to leave the battery on for too long, because it can go a bit flat. There we go. So I hate those dots. Let's get rid of the dots. There we go. So quick look at the lights. Okay, I found this before. Now those tail lights don't look like they're on, but they actually are. You see how they're kind of milky. In daylight it's not quite so obvious, but if they weren't on, that would be like a clear kind of glass. Let's have a quick look here. We've got our rotating beacon up there. We've got our flashing strobe down there. Run around. We don't want to flatten the battery. We've got our starboard nav light is working. We have got a nice bright landing light. And let's have a quick look around here. I'm just going to quickly pop you out as well while we're here. Port nav light is good. So happy with that. Let's run around here, run around here, run around here. It's like a first-person shooter, isn't it? I was getting all tactical then. Okay, let's have pitot heat on. Do. Have all those off. And there is no real way to... okay, the first thing I'm going to point out with this beta, which you'll see in an update coming out soon, is for some repaints, you had the kind of dual badge. You might have a badge that was part of the repaint, then also you'd have the coded A2A Comanche badge there. They've sorted that out, so that's all good now if you've got a repaint. And as I say, I love this Ron Atwood repaint of the Comanche. It does feel like my own Comanche. Now. You may remember in the old days with the Comanche, with the previous ones, you had a thing on your kind of tablet that showed you the pitot heat getting hot. We don't have that with this one, so we just have to imagine that it is. So we've checked that. I can see some people coming in. Good to see you all. So pitot heat off. We can drop the flap. We've got a nice mechanical flap. There's no electrics involved. It is literally yank the lever, flappage doth descendeth. So that's what we've done there. And happy with all that. Check fuel. Fuel is on both because we're going to need that. Right. Now we get out again. And now let's just go and have a look around. And where is my mouse gone? There it is. That's nice and solid. Check the aileron. That's all good. Up to the tip tank. Got to have tip tanks. This aircraft in real life doesn't actually have tip tanks, but there it is. Now that's one of the other things with this with the beta. If you've got this aircraft yourself, or if you've seen some of my streams, it's been a bit tricky to see the fuel level, and they have kind of put the fuel colour back to what it used to be. It might not be the most realistic, but it's certainly a lot easier to see it without clambering all over the wing and trying to peep in. Right, tyre is good. Sorry, can you close the door, please? I'm trying to do serious checks here. And let's just look in here. And it's the same here. You can see we've got a nice visible fuel in there. We're going to pop under here, and we just need to find the right spot. Maybe I need to get a bit closer. Come on. Come on. There we go. Is that it? There we go. That's so good. There we go. Oh, you steady on. Double clicked it. Come back around here because I just realised I didn't come under here. You can get thirsty doing this. That's all good. And click that to get rid of the bottle. Okay, let's have a pop around here. Prop is looking good. There are no squirrels hiding in here, so that's a good. Tyre condition is excellent. Lovely badge. Let's check the oil. Oh, DA42. I do like the Diamond Industries aircraft. Okay, let's look at the oil. That's fine. You can see because it's a brand new aircraft as well. We've got lovely, nice, clear oil as well. And as the aircraft ages, that will change colour. This is what I'm talking about. The aircraft, I keep wanting to say it grows with you, but that's the wrong phrase. The aircraft lives with you, if you understand what I mean. By the way, you have to close this manually. It's not the old 2020 versions used to pop down. You have to close it, otherwise you've got a gun sight, and it is actually quite handy as a gun sight if you want to go and all that kind of stuff. You can do that. That was a terrible impression of a machine gun. Okay, that's good. Tyre condition is absolutely fine. Let's just check the stall warner is all good. We had a look at the pitot heat before. Let's check the fuel in here. There we go. It is so much easier to do that now. I totally understand they were probably trying to make it a bit more realistic before, but it was tricky to see it. Look at that. Pure, unadulterated. Lovely, lovely fuel. By heck! We've got a Huey. That's all good. As you know, if you follow the channel, I'm somewhat addicted to helicopters. So static port is clear. That's all not. I mean, that just feels wonderful. You can see what I mean about the tail lights now. You see how they look more like clear glass, whereas before they were kind of like a milky, opaque. Rudder is all fixed. We've got rid of all the bungees and the twangies and all that kind of thing. Round here, static port is clear. We'll check for squirrels in here. We don't want any bags. There we go, and that's all good. And I've checked that, and I've done that. So that's the outside checks complete. Let's get back into the warmth. Left the battery on, which was a silly thing to do. Right, I'm going to quickly catch up with the chat. That's really weird how that's doing that. Let me think. No. Epsy, I think Valdez Valdemar's bumpy taxiways. All this would be interesting. Keith, it was always called Valdez Airport until 1st of May 2000 when it was renamed Valdez PAMR. Do you know what? I thought so. I thought so, Keith, but I looked at my little nav map and it says Valdez Airport. And I started doubting myself. I thought maybe they've changed the name and, you know, I just wasn't catching up with the times. Helifly, you are more than welcome to fly along. And I'll quickly say it again, by the way, if anyone has joined, we are on Western Europe. If you want to fly along, you are more than welcome. Tracer, how are you doing? Volker, good to see you playing places. You can watch the amp meter to verify. That's very true. Volker, thank you. That's very kind of you. Yeah, I agree with you, Volker. I think I tend to get a bit carried away with the helicopters, and I need to do a bit more in the way of warbirds and. Bit more in the way of warbirds. I'm going to kill the labels now. Let's just get rid of those. And GA. That is for sure. Right, I'm getting that back up then. Right, yeah. So what Plain Places is talking about there, of course, is we can have the master switch on, and we've got the amp meter here. And then if I whack on the pitot heat, you can see that the amps have dropped a little bit, which is indicative that the pitot heat is drawing current. So that's a way of checking that the wires are all sorted out. Okay. Right, so we've done that. Pre-flight is complete. Passengers are briefed. There we go. Seatbelts, yes. Control locks I've removed. Parking brake is set. Gear switch is down. Checking that on my physical controller as well. Flappage I can now bring up. By the way, this isn't a tutorial. Every flight I do, for me, is practice and training. So if this was a tutorial flight, I would tell you at the start, but it's not. So I'm going to make mistakes. Radios are off. It's the master, yeah. Autopilot master is off. We had a look at that, yes. Avionics master is off. All electrical switches, just poke my head around there. Is that? Yep, that's off. And circuit breakers are all in. We need to check those. This is Accu-sim, and it will bite you on the bottom if you're not careful. It really will. It's amazing how things can suddenly go wrong, and they could well on this flight. Let's hope not. Let's have some confidence. Let's have a positive mental attitude about that. Rotating beacon on, and that is all good. So before engine start, checklist complete. Engine start selectors, going to have them on both. Mixture is, let me just, I wonder why that's doing that. There must be some control. Wasn't doing it before. It's very boring, but basically I have a control that locks. It kind of turns off the head tracking, but it's meant to stay in the position I'm looking at. And it always works until tonight, when if I press it, it centers it. So something has gone weird with the settings, but I can have a look at that once we get flying. I'm not going to bore you with it now. Throttle is cracked. Mixture is rich. Prop is fully forward. Carpet is off. There we go. Master switch is on. We can hear the rotating beacon. By the way, if it gets a little bit, or if you can't hear what's going on with the engine and the other bits and pieces, or if I'm too loud or the engine's too loud, then please do let me know in the comments. The sound levels always seem to change, and the last time I was using this, it was for helicopters, so it might be slightly different. Right, where did we get to? So fuel selected side tank, yes. Mixture rich, we've done all that. Fuel pressure, we can check, is not happening. Why is that not happening? Because we haven't put the fuel pump on yet. So let's have the fuel pump on. Fuel pressure. There he goes. Fuel pressure coming up. I'm going to have the fuel pump off now. I'm going to click that. No, where is it? Right click it. There we go. And okay, no, that's interesting. Interesting for me. Sorry, I'm kind of testing a few things as well. So, yeah. Where do we get to? Fuel pump. We've done that. Primer, 5 strokes. One of the other wonderful things about the Comanche is every engine start is different. It's not a pre-programmed, you know, start. Every engine start is different. Again, it's one of the things that make it feel really alive. That I absolutely love. Okay, so we've done that. We'll have mags on. I am going to just put the nav lights on as well. So mags are on. Shout out the window. Good prop. And then here we go. Well done, sweetheart. First time firing up. Oil pressure's good. Just going to lean her out a little bit. There we go, so that's all good, and we are there. I'm going to put the pitot heat on now at this point. Let's get the avionics on. So we're not going to be using the Garmin. I am, as I said at the start, I'm using a little nav map just to do a nice little visual route.
TOS system test OK.
Good, that's fine. We are on a preset, so let's have a quick look over here. I'm just checking. Where's it gone? Right. That's all good. Happy with that. Sorry, I tend to talk to myself a little bit as I'm just running through things and checking a few things. So you just relax. Don't worry. Listen, everything's going to be all right. Okay? Trust me. Talking of payloads, actually. We need to add you because you're here, but your weight isn't there, and also to hell with it. Come on, love you lot in the back. You love a good flight. They're always so happy to see me when we jump in the aeroplane. Okay, so if everybody is ready to go, then I think we'll get going. Wind is 2 knots from 254, so we're going to take runway 24. Binky, how you doing? Keith, thank you very much, and Nico. Nico, what are you using for head tracking? This is the, there you go, it's the Grass Monkey King Puck. Is what I use for head tracking. And then there's a little sensor on the thing there. It's brilliant, it's cheaper than Track IR, and I love it to bits. Okay, let's get rid of you. Quick check around here. Happy with all that. Yep. Okay, so release parking brake, check the brakes, brakes are good. So I'm just going to come over here. It is lovely here. I get very nostalgic coming to Valdez. It's I used to spend quite a bit of time here in FSX and P3D. Funny enough, flying warbirds. You notice how this has come down with the vibration and with movement. The sun visor will just kind of pop down a little bit. It's little things like this that really make it feel alive. It is bumpy. I don't know who said that the taxiways at Valdez were bumpy, but man, you were right. It's quite good detail at this airport. I guess MSFS must have built some extra into it, hey? Okay, is everything behaving as it should? Yes. Except I need to just align this. I'll give that another check when we get there. The gyro, I'm so used to being lazy in the Aerostar where it actually automatically slaves the gyro. You have to remember with the Comanche that you've got to, it's one of those little things that you've got to remember to do, is check the HSI against the whiskey compass. It's quite nice actually. It's quite nice having the snow and the sun. Okay, so I'm going to do a warm up. I think we've got no, we haven't. I don't know why I thought I did. For some reason I thought there was an area. Well, I'm going to do a warm up over here. I thought maybe I had a nice big area, so sorry for anyone who's behind me. But I'm going to try and have a modicum of professionalism by doing a warm up, a run up. People do get a bit upset if you don't do a run up properly, especially if you go onto the active runway. I've been told off for that before. Okay, let's close that. No, come here, get a click spot right. Doof. Right. Bum, bum. Run up position into wind. We are, yeah, pretty much into wind there. Brakes to hold, fuel quantity check, yes. Fuel selectors are both on. You just watch what you do with that foot, love. Don't bang me fuel selector, otherwise you'll be out the window. Mixture, let's put it on to fully rich now for this and throttle to 2000 RPM. Just listening to the engine, check the engine instruments. Everything is good there. We've got our pressures. We have our temperatures. Let's cycle the prop. We'll do this a little bit out of order. I just love cycling the prop. We used to love doing it in the A2A Spitfire in P3D. Right, let's bring that down to 1800. See if it holds. It does, so the governor's working fine. Now we can do a mag check. This is the bit I'm always a bit nervous of because I roll the mouse wheel and hope that I don't put it to the off position. Okay, mag check is good. Very carpy, pulling that out. We had a drop of RPM there, so that's working fine. Yeah. Mag check, I don't know why, it always makes me a bit nervous. Right, here we go. Strobes on, landing lights on. We are going to take the active. I am on multiplayer, so I'm not going to be that guy that suddenly screws up someone's flight at the last minute, but I don't see anyone coming in. So, let's go. Do a rolling start. We're just going to get going. God, I love this aeroplane. It feels so alive. Do you know what I just remembered? I should have done it before. Is watch the bloomin'... Gear up. Watch the bloomin' elevator trim. Should have checked the elevator trim was neutral, and I didn't. And as I was coming down the runway, I don't know, I just kind of had this sense. And of course I looked up and we got some nose up in. I managed to correct it a little bit, but not a huge amount. But it is not nice taking off with nose up trimming. So again, that's what happens when you rush things. Just do a circuit of Valdez. It is beautiful here. Isn't it gorgeous? Such a nice place to fly around here. It's great in helicopters as well because there's loads of little places that you can go to. Right, let's just come back on the RPM a little bit as well. The other thing I forgot there was fuel pump. Should have put the fuel pump on. By the way, it's worth saying for all you armchair flying instructors out there, like I said, I will make mistakes, especially when I'm streaming and thinking of talking to you and trying to maybe rush things a bit so that we're not sitting on the ground forever. I will always try and point out my mistakes. The main reason being so that I kind of acknowledge it to myself and I learn from it. So if you see me make a mistake, don't always launch into the comments, because I might not need you to point it out to me, because I might actually realise it myself, as I did A, with the trim, and B, with the blooming fuel pump. How picturesque. Okay. Trim. She is lovely. It's one of those kind of hallmarks of A2A aircraft that they actually really do feel like something that's kind of slipping through the air. If that kind of makes sense. It doesn't feel like a digital computer thing. It actually feels like it's going through the air, and it is rather wonderful. So I'm just doing a bit of trim. Set the landing lights off now. So we're just going to follow the water. Now I'm going to brave some views. See. There we go. It is good to have chase plane back. It's a lovely repaint, isn't it? And it's quite special that it's a real aircraft as well. And I have a lot of gratitude to Ron for bringing it back into the sim. Anyway, get back in the pilot view, you idiot. You're meant to be flying. Scenery is just stunning. It is an unusual time, Chinook. You're absolutely right. let's get rid of the... I just suddenly realised we don't need that anymore. You don't want to see me, you want to see this. Stunning. It's a really nice aircraft just to hand fly. If you've been watching the channel, you know I've been doing some IFR ATC stuff with the Aerostar using autopilot, and also I've done some Comanche stuff with the autopilot, and it's got a very interesting autopilot. It's got this old school kind of S-Tech autopilot, and you know, if you remember from the old one, you had, you know, you got your kind of tracking modes where it would track the GPS, but it wouldn't take tight turns because the sorry, I'm kind of trying to talk and concentrate at the same time, so bear with me. Sometimes it doesn't necessarily all come out as it's meant to. Yeah, so it's a kind of a rate-based device, so it doesn't take the tight turns very well. And what they've done is, like with the Aerostar, we now have this clever gadget here, the GPSS, and kind of the GPSS, kind of think of it as a translator that translates our ultra-modern inputs from the GPS into something that the old-school autopilot can handle, giving it a heading to follow. And it's good, you know, to have that additional feature. It makes it a little bit easier if you do want to follow the magenta line. It does make it a little bit easier. This is just gorgeous up here. But we're not going to do that. We're going to do some hand flying. I think it's time for a flyby. Why the hell not? Hopefully it won't crash the sim, but let's see. Otherwise it's going to be a very short flight. Anyway, how is everybody? I hope you're well. It's Thursday night. I've been away with work this week. Back today, back a bit early, hence the jumping on a stream. I'm getting carried away with that. Look at that view. Wow. How beautiful. Yeah, so I just thought, let's get a stream up. And like I said at the start, this isn't live weather. If it was, it would not be looking as picturesque as this, I can assure you. But it's nice just to do some sightseeing. What do you think in the back? Don't look so terrified. Honestly. The other thing I love about flying the Comanche and the Aerostar is it's not often I get a chance to use my yoke. Because I'm flying helicopters and warbirds most of the time. It's quite nice to get the yoke out and do a bit of flying with that. Takes me back to my flying training days. No, eh? Just beautiful. If I had some soothing music to play you at this stage, I would do, but unfortunately I don't. Oh, something else that's really cool. Something else that's really cool, if you don't know the Comanche, is that it simulates headphones. Okay, you say. So what? It simulates headphones. It also simulates noise cancelling headphones. See that? Not only does it simulate noise cancelling headphones, it simulates the fact that my noise cancelling headphones have a battery in them. If I were to leave these switched on, and close down my sim and then come back a week later, there is a chance that my battery might be flat. That's clever, isn't it? That is attention to detail. Again, one of the amazing things about A2A. They don't churn out new aircraft every 5 minutes. They focus on the quality and the realism, and that's why they make simulators for the American military, government organisations, commercial organisations. They're kind of the pros, and I would far rather have quality over quantity any day of the week, especially with an aircraft like this. By the way, if you haven't seen it, if you haven't seen their forum, they've got sorry, the Discord. They're doing a challenge in 2026. There's a special Discord page where you can go in, and it's kind of a challenge in terms of what I was talking about before: ownership of an aircraft, and the journey and the adventure that you go on with it, in terms of where you go, how you treat it, what failures you might have, and you can just go in there and you can just keep a log, and you can tell people what you're up to and what's happened with your aeroplane on the last flight. And it's a good way. I think it's a great way of people sharing their experiences, but also it's you know, it just goes to show how people do feel they feel at one with their aircraft. It's like having a pet Labrador. Does that make sense? That is beautiful out there, isn't it? It's Welshie, how you doing? I am on the fence about the... I think, is it you saying the Garmin upgrade for the sim? As I fly a lot of GA, would you say it's worth the price? Do you know what? I'm always a bit hesitant saying to people, do I think it's worth the price? Because I think it really does depend on what you are going to use it for and what you're going to do with it. For me personally, I didn't hesitate. I started off using the free PMS, and then I decided to buy the TDS GTN-XI, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I love, and this is kind of illustrated in this aircraft here, I don't like glass cockpit, but I love the analog instruments that we've got here and coupled with a really nice modern GPS when I want to use it. I think that combination is absolutely fantastic. And I can use the GTN-XI in my helicopters, and I can use it in the you know, in the Aerostar for doing kind of longer stuff. I can use it in the King Air, the analog King Air, for doing kind of longer and higher kind of turboprop-y stuff. I've got the Pro upgrade as well. I should say I have to thank TDS for that, because they saw that I was using the TDS GTN-XI in some videos, so they kind of gave me the upgrade, the Pro upgrade, to have a look at, to do a review of. But it's great because it kind of syncs with Navigraph, so you can have your Navigraph charts as well. But yeah, I would say, you know, I think you have to ask yourself, are you going to get, you know, what kind of flying are you going to do? Are you going to get much out of it? But I just think it's a great piece of kit. I really do, and I've kind of never looked back really. Sim Famous, watching your live stream the A2A while I'm flying the A2A great plane. It is, isn't it? It's beautiful. It's the perfect aeroplane for the kind of flight I wanted to do tonight. I just wanted to do something really relaxed. I wanted to spend a bit of time with the Comanche. I wanted to just have a look at a couple of things with this current beta release, which you'll see soon in the main release. And also, like I said at the beginning, it's all practice for me. The Comanche is an aircraft that's not, especially after Warbird, it's not difficult to fly, but it's a challenge to fly with finesse. and smoothly and to do everything right. And you do have to be very switched on, especially because it's Accu-sim, because things can go wrong. Now, talking of Accu-sim, if you know A2A and you know Accu-sim, then you know all this stuff anyway, so I don't want to bore anyone who knows it, but just in case you haven't seen it before, if we go into maintenance and if we go into engine analyzer, we can see exactly what our engine is doing right now. Now, I've not done any kind of we're at 4,000 feet. I've not done any kind of leaning up till now, but what I'm going to do now is just pull back ever so slightly, and I'm going to lean using the EGT rather than the engine management computer over there. Now, we're not particularly high, so I'm not expecting much, but if you look at these pipes here, you can see they're orange. As I lean back, see the EGT rising. You see the colour starting to change. So I'm looking at the EGT, you look at the pipes. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm happy with that. You see the pipes are green. That doesn't mean that they're cold as such. That means that we're running on we're running on economy. And you can see those little white dots that are flashing there. They are the spark plugs. And that's not just a kind of an animation. I need to lose a bit of height because we're going into the cloud. That's not an animation that's just going to do that the whole time. That is actually a visual indicator of how these spark plugs are being simulated. If we sat on the ground and I had mixture rich, there we go, just come out of that, and I had mixture rich, you would see that dot start to get smaller, and that's indicative of fouling the plugs. So it just shows you how much stuff is being simulated with this Accu-sim. You might say, well, that's very unrealistic, you wouldn't have that in the real aircraft. Well, no, of course you wouldn't. But what is really cool about it is if you are, say you're learning to fly in the flight simulator, and especially if you're kind of learning all the physics and the systems and how everything works, that is a great learning tool, I think anyway, a great learning tool to see how changes that you make in the aircraft have an effect on the aircraft and different things that are going on. I think it's pretty cool. Right, let's bring that out of the way. So now that we're descending, I'm just going to enrich it a little bit again. I fly the A2A Comanche, Piper P28, Bonanza. Yeah, I think you, especially if you want to do some kind of route work. I used to fly GA aircraft for a VA, and it was really useful for that. You know, if I want to do like an IFR beyond ATC flight, it's really useful for those as well. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's a good point, playing places. It's a good point. People sometimes, you know, what's the difference between the GTN-XI and the PMS? The GTN-XI, like the Flight 1, I don't know if anyone watching used to use the old Flight 1 GTN 750s in P3D. Like those, the TDS is using the Garmin Trainer software. So you're using the real kind of Garmin software to drive it, which is pretty cool. What do you think? Rude passengers. Right, let's just have a quick. Didn't want to do that. let's have a look. I need to assign some buttons, I think. Here's chase plane. Chase plane, by the way, is such a nice camera tool. It's great for making videos. It's like having your own kind of little film crew. That's what I wanted to do. There we go. Sorry to who is that? Helifly. Oh wow, we got Global Sprawl, EBSI, Womble Way. That's some nice nice formation flying there, Helifly. Formation flying is tricky enough, but when you've got an idiot that you're trying to formate on and he keeps wobbling around the sky because he's messing about with his camera software, it can be quite difficult. It is rather lovely up here. Oh yeah, right, I wanted to check that, didn't I? So let's do a couple of things. Labels off. This is the boring bit for you. But this is the... so if I press that, it's doing that. I don't want you to do that. So if I get my camera software up here, or rather my head tracking software... bear with me. Oh, that was interesting. Or was it, Rob? Okay. Let's try a few things. I seem to have lost. Okay, that is not doing what it's meant to do. So let's come back here. That's all working. Okay, I'm going to have a look at my have a look at my my controls for my head tracking, because it seems to have confused itself, or it's locked up on. Oh, I know what it is. I know what it is. Yeah, I know what it is. Yeah, it's very boring for you. My control to lock or turn off head tracking was actually in MSFS, and I've just realised now that the toggle while held. Do I want to use that? Toggle tracking. Toggle tracking. Let's try something. Bear with me, folks. There's nothing more exciting than watching someone mess about with their... Yeah, no, that's not going to do. Okay, that wasn't what we wanted. We have now there we go. Stand by. Just having to restart my head tracking again. There we go. Okay, right, so reminder to self, I need to set something up in chase plane so it holds the position, because it's just quite handy, like when you're doing a flight like that, and I could lock off at that point, and you know, you could see it rather than it's centering itself, but that's something I need to specifically shut up. I'm not sure how in this one. to add it as a control. Sorry, I'm kind of talking to myself as I'm thinking through what I can do. But it's still looking blooming gorgeous out here. What is the temperature? Okay, that's probably because I've messed around. We've just got a few cloud setting. I think it's set to this time of year, but I'm sure it's not actually that warm right now. If we were here, we might find it a little bit chilly. Just need to do a little bit more. Trim. It's interesting again how everything kind of works together. I could feel that the aircraft was out of trim, so I was thinking, why is it out of trim? And then I realised it's because I'd pulled the throttle back a bit. Or maybe it had when I was messing about with the thing. Anyway. Adrian, what's the consensus on the new MSFS 2024 Comanche upgrade? Is it worth it? Sorry if you mentioned the subject already. Ignore this message. No, I haven't mentioned it. Again, it's a little bit like the TDS. I think it's entirely up to you. I have been quite happily flying the 2020 version. However, I do like the walk around in 2024. The fact you're actually walking around rather than you know, clicking on a tablet. They've done some things under the hood that you aren't necessarily visual, but to do with the flight model that relate to Flight Simulator 2024. You've also got the ability to have the I'll bring him up because I don't think it's going to break anything. Oh, here you've got your mags on here. I mean, if you were watching at the start, you know, I was talking about how sometimes it's a little bit tricky with the using the mouse wheel to turn the mags. Well, you can now press those buttons there if you want to. But we've got the G5 MFDs as well, so I can, if I pop those on, if you wanted, you can fly with the G5s. These are the Asobo G5s. These aren't instruments that A2A have designed, but they're there if you want them. Personally, I love these kind of old analog instruments that A2A have kind of handcrafted themselves, but that's there as well if you want it. So I think it's entirely up to you. I think the upgrade price, I mean, it's like a no-brainer. It's not a huge amount of money, and you're getting the kind of new features that I talked about, potentially new things coming in the future as well. So I think it's, yeah, it's a pretty easy one really. Oh, we've got the RNAV as well. Come back on my GTNs.
TAWS system test OK.
So should be interesting this. We're kind of going across that way. I'm pointing like I've still got my camera on and you haven't got a clue. So we're going across that way, so we'll have to be a bit careful because we do have some cloud. And cloud and mountains do not mix all that well. It can make things a little bit tricky. Yeah, Adrian, I know what you mean. I'll be honest with you, I've not touched the RNAV stuff yet in these with those instruments. I get so little flying time that I'm going to, next time I have a block of time off or something, I might sit down with it and learn the ropes. And I kind of had this idea I would do I'd learn it and do a tutorial, because a great way of learning something is to teach it, because you have to know you have to know what you're blooming talking about. but I don't know if I will, and I don't know when that might be. But I'm not all that interested in the RNAV side of it. I think it's very clever. I think it's great that they've included it for people that want to do it, but I tend to like having the GTNs. I like that combination of the GTN, the analog instruments, and then every now and again flying VORs and doing it that way. But the actual RNAV instruments that you can have in there, I haven't had a look at that yet, but I probably will do. So where are we? I should show you on the map, shouldn't I? Here we go. So we have tootled across here. We're going to cross the mountains here and then into Anchorage there. So it's pretty simple. Like I said at the start, pretty simple route, just nice and picturesque. Binky, how much will you charge for the upgrade? I have to be honest with you, Binky. I'm a beta tester, so I get the upgrade for free because I'm beta testing and reviewing. So I didn't pay for it, but if I go onto my page on the website, it's listed at, I think it's $14 for the upgrade. Bear with me. Sorry about that. I had a call that I couldn't put down. It's the first time I've ever had an important call come through on a stream, so I had to take it. So I do apologise for my rudeness at leaving you in the silence of the cockpit. Okay, so we can see we're climbing. So I'm going to do something that you can't do in the Aerostar, and I'm just leaning as we climb. You can't do that in the Aerostar because the engines are actually so small they overheat. The little cowlings. How do I know that? Because a real Aerostar pilot told me off for leaning in the climb, and it was then that I read the manual and realised yes, it does actually say in the manual not to do it. You would not want to go slamming into those mountains, would you? Okay, let's just quickly check. So we've now got the throttle fully open. just got to get across those mountains, and Anchorage is pretty much on the other side. Keeping that climb in. Let's just wind. Binky, how come they charge you $49? I have no idea, my friend. I would talk to A2A. Talk to A2A about it. If you bought the aircraft from their website, and I think that's the key thing, you have to buy it from where you bought it from. So if you bought it from their website, then you should be seeing the discount on the page for it on the website. But I would talk to them. They're good people, so I'm sure there's probably just something that hasn't quite gone through correctly. But did you buy? Okay, you did. Yeah. Don't be pissed, mate. Honestly, they'll sort you out. Just get in touch with them. Go onto the support forum and get in touch with them, and I'm sure they'll sort you out. The fact that if I go onto my page it's showing a discount means that it's there somehow, but something obviously didn't go through correctly with yours. And I'm trying to think what might have possibly caused it, but I can't actually think of anything, if I'm honest with you. Okay, so I'm going to level us off at 8,000. We do not carry oxygen, so I don't want to go. Certainly don't want to go any higher than 10, really. To kind of be comfortable. This isn't a high altitude rocket ship cruiser. Beautiful. Sorry. Let's get back in. I had to chuck in a flyby there. Adrian, how high do you typically try to be above the mountain's top? I think it depends, really. When I'm visual like this, I'm certainly feeling a lot more comfortable about it. So it's kind of an altitude where I can see enough detail on the ground to be able to say, oh, look at that. But also not to be low enough to bang into them. And also, you know, to a certain extent at this altitude, it's probably, we can be a bit leaner on our mixture, so we're saving a bit of gas as well. If we were IMC, I guess normally, if I was flying out IFR, I'd be being controlled by ATC. That's how I fly in the sim anyway. So I would, they would be telling me what height to fly at. But it's interesting sometimes with the helicopter, with the H145 doing search and rescue stuff. When the weather isn't particularly brilliant, you've got the synthetic vision on the avionics display, and it's quite spooky when you are flying low in poor weather and suddenly this kind of mountain looms out of nowhere. That always makes it interesting. Pinky. Honestly, mate, you'll be absolutely fine. go into the forum and stick a message in there, and Lewis or someone will sort you out. There's obviously something simple going on about it, and was it Duckman? Duckman mentioned about being logged in properly. I would definitely check that. So, this is the kind of flying I love doing. Mountains, weather's pretty good, nice views. It's actually really nice when the snow's out as well. Definitely very picturesque. Got a nice little settlement down there. Let me get the map up. What is that? Girdwood. Oh, the Aliska Resort. So we've got some skiing going on down there. And that's rather nice. I wonder if probably not going to be able to. Let's have a look. One of the things I love about 2024 is the detail that you sometimes see in the sim. Yeah, you can just about see it. So there's some ski. I'm sorry for like Helifly who's following me, thinking what's this idiot now doing, but one of the things I love about this sim, let's watch the speed, sunshine, is the detail that you get on the grounds. And right down there is a ski resort, and you can see the ski lifts. I've got the Mamu design. I just remembered I've got the Mamu design cable car and ski lift pack, and it's quite rightly populated them there. So we've got some. Got the ski resort there. How wonderful! Nice little bits of detail. It's certainly a wonderful simulator for sightseeing. It's one of the reasons I love flying helicopters in it so much. There's always something to see. You can just fly around, see an interesting spot. If I was in the helicopter now, I'd definitely be going down to have a closer look at that. That's for sure. Right, let's get back on track. Ooh, we've got a belt of cloud appearing there in front. Binky, it was showing $14.99 on the price, which is what I thought I was paying. Yeah, $14.99 is what you should be paying for the upgrade. Nothing wrong with pulling G's, Adrian. Vitamin G is good for you. As a real world warbird pilot once told me. Yes, guys saying in the chat about the EFB on the yoke. I do like that. That's kind of how I like to, you probably saw at the start of the video, that's how I had it mounted. It definitely makes it feel a little bit more realistic. But then there comes a point where I like to pop it out, just to have better visibility really, especially the switches. By the way, yeah, Streamlabs has done it. We do have a Discord if you want to pop along and say hello if you're on Discord. Really great community. I always say the Discord's only as good as the community that make it up. We're very lucky to have a cracking bunch of people. We've got a warbird channel, a general aviation channel, and a helicopter channel, and just a place to chat. Every now and again we have the odd group flight. Every now and again, when I'm streaming, I might do it on multiplayer if people want to come along, just for a relaxed flight. But yeah, if you're on Discord and you fancy joining, the Streamlabs has very kindly whacked the link in the chat. Okay, let's have a look. Do you know what? I've been flying the H145 so much these days. I was looking automatically for my time to go to destination, and I don't have the helionic system. B, I'm not in a helicopter, and C, I've not set anything up in the GTN, so it's not even going to be there. But we are not far. We are not far at all. We're approaching where we need to start dropping down, but I don't want to drop down too soon, obviously, when we've got these lumpy pumpy mountains. But isn't that scenery just blooming gorgeous? You lot in the back, are you impressed? Alright. Do you think they've had an argument? Yeah, I think they've had an argument. He's got that kind of when's it ever going to end look in his face, and she's got that kind of I can't believe he said that. I can't believe he said that kind of look. Co-pilot here is just trying really hard not to laugh. There you go. Okay, right. Oh, isn't that a lovely valley down there? Now, the turbulence is not really that strong today, so you might not see it, but one of the other wonderful things about the Comanche, of course, is that we do get wind flex. So the wing will flex up and down in the turbulence. But it's nice and steady because we've got WIMP weather few clouds preset on, but that's gorgeous. This sim can be so realistic at times. It's like when you're flying on your holidays and you look out and you see the sun reflecting off the wing, just like that, isn't it? Where's the minibar? Okay, let's concentrate. Let's get back on course. So we are not far out at all. I'm just going to quickly check. I'm going to say check the weather, but of course it makes no difference because I'm not on live weather, so I can't check the weather. So I'm going to assume that the wind speed direction is going to be the same. So it's going to be landing runway 25. At Merrill. There's no ILS or anything fancy schmancy like that, but what I am going to do, just because I can, because it's in here, we are going to do an approach and what is it? Oh, come back. PAMR. There we go. And we will do visual 25. There we go. Just get you set up. Lovely jubbly. Okay, so I'm going to start a gentle descent now. Some rather large mountains here, so we don't want to go down too quickly. T-sail. Yeah, fixed wing. I thought it was about time. It was definitely about time we took the Comanche up, that's for sure. just pulled the throttle back a little bit too fast, so the gear horn went off then. That's what that was all about, just keeping a descent in. What a lovely day. Right, Milado. Oh, keeping the wrong click spot. There we go, that's all. Okay, so let's bring you back there. Autopilot master is off. Fuel pump I'm going to now put on. Fuel levels check. Yes, yes, yes. And yes, that's all good. Happy with that. Mixture, not just yet because we're still quite high. Don't want to put that onto rich just yet, but we will do, and that's fine. That's all good. Happy with that. I'm going to put my landing lights on now. Quick check across here. That's all looking good. Shot up, keeping that descent in. See, we're quite high coming in off the mountains, but there's our airport there. Looking gorgeous. It's lovely up here. So I'm just extending out a little bit, and then we'll just have to come back on ourselves. Excuse me, because we are rather high. And I don't know about you, it's the same in fixed wing as in helicopters, but I love flying in approach. That doesn't mean I think I'm good at flying in approach. I just love doing it. It's like meditation. You get into a zone. I've just noticed that on the top of that mountain. I wonder if that's a cable car. We're going to have a look. You just get into the zone, and it's you're so focused. Your mind is just so focused on what you're doing. I find it incredibly relaxing, even if I'm not particularly brilliant at it. It's one of the problems with flying lots of different types, like warbird tail draggers, helicopters, and this sort of thing, that you become a jack of all trades and a master of none. Nice little resort on the top there. Hello everybody. Right. Just going to slip us down a bit just to use the height at a slightly higher rate.
Sync rate.
Don't worry, sweetheart.
Sync
I
rate.
know what I'm doing. Famous last words, that is, isn't it? So just shh, stop it. Just going to come back along here. Keep in the descent. Just going to move that in a bit so we've got slightly better visibility. There we go. Okay, quick check there. That's good. I'm now going to enrich, and as we're getting lower. Interesting, with this weather it makes it a little bit harder to see what we're doing, but there's the airport there. must admit, if I said I could easily make out the runway against the roads, I would be lying through my teeth. I think I can see the runway. So I'm trusting my instruments. I'm still not convinced that's the runway. I'm going to do a Harrison Ford here and land on the taxiway, no doubt. It's interesting. I'm using DLSS now as well, and I can see that that's slightly doing some funny things with the scenery, but it's not too bad. Now, I am not convinced that is a runway, what I'm looking at. Something feels very wrong. And that... let's have a look. Somewhere there is a runway. That's a road. Hey, if Harrison Ford can do it, I can do it. That's... hey, okay, there it is. That is the runway. That is the runway. Thank God for that. I thought I was losing my marbles. It's the tyre marks on the runway. Looked almost
500.
like buildings. Kill the flap. Kill all that lift. Some brake on. Sorry, the heli-flyer was I was a bit aggressive with the braking there, mate. So we'll come off right here. Make sure I don't prang the other Comanche. Okay, let's have landing lights off, strobe lights off. And we'll just pull up in front of the tower. What a lovely view. You may remember we did a stream from this neck of the woods in helicopters some time ago. Okay, right, blah blah blah. Fuel pump can come off now. That's so good. Happy with that. Should have leaned the mixture as we came off there. Let's just clear the baffles a little bit. Okay, that's all good. Should have turned the avionics off before as well. And that's fine, that's good. Rotating beacon off now. You're closed, all the switches off. You've got to be careful of these. If you leave anything on, when you come back to it, your battery will be flat. Just checking. Yeah, that's off. All good. There we go. Ah, oh, what a lovely view. What a lovely view. It is beautiful. Anyway, I'll turn that back on now because I can talk to you. Jacob, hello again, chap. Isn't it past your bedtime? It is a school night. But yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Akritai, but you still landed. I did. I like your attitude, mate. That's what it's all about. That is what it's all about. Helifly, thank you for coming along, and thanks to the other guys as well. It's always fun flying with other people. Multiplayer is a pretty cool thing when it all works, and it's great to share scenery like this with other people. But anyway, hey, look, thank you ever so much for joining the stream. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. I said at the beginning it wasn't a tutorial. It's all about practice for me. I always a flight like this, I'd make mistakes. I point them out to myself. I remember them, and then hopefully next time, things like at the start when I forgot to put the fuel pump on for takeoff, and what was the other thing I did? That's worked well, hasn't it? I've already forgotten it. Fuel pump. Oh, the trim, the elevator trim. I hadn't utilised the elevator trim, and I realised as we were rolling down the runway that I had some had some nose up trim in there. Little things like that. I go away, I remember it, and then hopefully don't make the same cock up next time, because we're always learning in aviation. It's the same with real aviation, same with the sim. We're always learning stuff. Anybody who says that they know it all, and it's interesting talking to real pilots, because real pilots will always say the same thing, that you never get complacent. You're always learning. They're not cocky. They are, they respect it. They respect aviation. And it's wonderful to be able to do that in the sim with this Comanche, because it's that's our first flight with the with this particular aircraft. So it's kind of it's had its maiden flight. We put some hours on it. It'd be interesting to see what adventures we have in the future. But you will be seeing it again on the channel, that is for sure. But anyway, hey, I'm waffling. I need to let you go. It has been wonderful having you along. Don't forget the Discord, and I look forward to seeing you on the channel again soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.